Welcome to Do the Talk podcast. This is your real estate podcast. Every week we teach regular people just like you how to invest in real estate. My name is Ibrahim. I'm your host today, and my co-host here is Hammed Lawal. We are committed to make sure real estate investment is seamless as much as possible. And if you would like to learn and grow with us, you have come to the right place. Ahmed, how are you doing today?
I'm doing fantastic. It's another week, another
Definitely.
episode, and we
Definitely.
we are going strong. And I'm happy to be here with you, Ibrahim, once again. Each time we come together like this, it's always an informative. Even I always learn something on this
Yeah.
podcast every time because we have to do research and get prepared for you guys. So, but with those work and all the other things that we do behind the scene, the only thing we are asking from you guys is, to support in by liking, subscribe, and follow all our social media platform. We are on TikTok, Do the Talk Podcast. We are on YouTube. We are on Instagram, Facebook, Do the Talk Podcast. So you please share, subscribe, and give a constructive feedback. If you have any question as well, since we are no longer doing live podcast, you can drop your comments and we're gonna get the answer right back to you. So, without further delay, Ibrahim, today is a very different dynamic of a topic.
Yeah.
It is something that not too many people talk about, but it is
Definitely.
very important because it can make or break your investment. Today it's about contracts, or I can call it agreements in real estate. Before you can complete any transaction, you have to go through some sort of agreement.
Definitely.
We all know that, even if you are leasing the house. What is contract one? How important is contract in real estate transaction, and why should our audience even pay attention to it when they are, try to do any contract?
Thank you for that. So, first thing I want to talk about is please, we really appreciate everyone for tuning in, and please share with your family, your friend, your coworker. It's going to be a good episode. It is very important for you to know what is contract. So, contract is like a mutual agreement between an individual, between two individuals.
Yeah.
Okay, individual A and individual B.
B.
It can be as many as it can be. It can be individual A to individual Z. What I mean by that is if a lot of people are involved in the transaction,
Yeah.
then it's a contract between all those individuals. So it can be one, two, three, or as much as possible.
Yeah.
So what am I saying here? It is an agreement that says, I'm gonna do A if you do B. Okay. Practically, most of the time, it involves product and services.
Yeah.
Okay, which at the end of the day, money or value it involves.
Yeah.
Okay, so it can be money, it can be value, and an individual A is saying, I'm okay with this service or I'm okay with this product, and all I get in return it is this value or this amount. And individual B is saying, yes, I'm okay with what you're gonna get as a return, as long as I get this from you. So it can be anything. But here we are focused on real estate and all the value, all the knowledge that it involves in real estate education and how you can prosper in your real estate journey or dream. I say dream because some of you are out there, you are still thinking how to get into it. And I'll consider yourself lucky. We are lucky that you come in. At the same time, consider yourself lucky for tuning in to Do the Talk because you are going to learn a lot in this channel.
Yeah.
Okay, not just this episode. You can go back to our previous video. You're gonna learn from it. Now, I digress. So there are various kind of contract. Okay, I want to let you know that the most common one is the purchase agreement. The second is agency agreement, lease agreement, which is also the same thing as seller's agent agreement. And another one I want to talk about is the lease purchase agreement, aka lease to own agreement. So you are leasing, then you have the opportunity to own. I'm going to break it down. The first one is purchase agreement. Purchase agreement, it's really like I like your property, Ahmed. I'm coming to you. Maybe you post it on the MLS or it's on Craigslist
Yeah.
or any kind of platform. And I like it so much. I come there, I assess the property, I want to buy it. How do I buy it in a formal way? Instead of me just saying, Ahmed, I like your property, I have to put in an agreement, a written agreement. Okay. That agreement is called purchase agreement because I'm literally saying, I like your property. It's so nice. I'm going to pay a particular amount for it. Yeah. And you are agreeing that, okay, you like my property, I'm ready to sell. And I'm okay with the price that I'm offering. And you sign it and we both sign it. That is called a purchase agreement. Because now we both agree that we are going to exchange. You are giving me value, I'm giving you dollars. Yeah. Okay. Yeah. So that is called purchase agreement. The second one I want to talk about is the buyer's agent agreement. It kind of works in line with the purchase agreement because in most cases, I have to go and meet a real estate broker to write the agreement for me. And the real estate broker will want me to have agreement with them first, saying that, okay, they will represent me to buy Ahmed's property. So that document that binds or that makes that person to be my fiduciary, it means buyer's agent agreement or buyer agent contract. It's also a kind of contract because in that agreement, he or she is going to spell out how much or what is the commission he or she is going to get in that transaction. He or she is going to spell out the value he or she would provide to me towards purchasing Ahmed's property. So that said, that is how the buyer's agent contract is structured. So I get that contract signed with that agent. That agent represent me in purchasing Ahmed's property. To make the whole deal work, she or he has to create a purchase agreement that I have to consent to. They will send it to Ahmed, and Ahmed will have to consent to that too. Now, there's somebody in between. In most cases, not all the time, in most cases, there's somebody in between before I get to Ahmed, and it is the seller agent. And the seller agent also, 99%, has a contract that will be in between he or she and Ahmed. Yeah. And that contract or the agreement is called listing agreement. You can also call it seller's agent agreement. So that's the third one, okay? So that agent will sign the agreement with Ahmed and say, Ahmed, I can help you make sure you get the most for your property. However, I need you to sign this agreement, indicating that I'm your fiduciary. I'm going to represent you in this transaction. And Ahmed signed it, so it means he has his own agent. At the same time, I have my own agent. So in between this transaction, technically we have three agreements. Yeah. Buyer's agent agreement, seller's agent agreement, and the one in the middle that brings everybody together is called the purchase agreement.
Yeah. So it's like a circle now.
Yes. So three agreements bring everyone together.
Yeah.
Of course, my buyer side is for me and my agent. Yeah. The seller side is for you and your agent. Yeah. But one binds everything together is the purchase agreement. Now, there's one that also binds everyone together. However, it's a little different, and it's called lease purchase agreement. The key word is lease purchase agreement. So technically, it's a purchase agreement. However, the person is trying to lease it first. Yeah. Lease it first to see. There are different reasons for that. I'll go to the reason, but the main point here is that the person wants to lease it first to live in the house. He or she then will have the opportunity to buy the property in the future. Now, why the confusion? Why would somebody want to lease first before buying the property when they can just go straight and do the purchase agreement? That's a good question. I know you guys would like to know that. So there are various reasons. One of it is that this individual might have a challenging credit score. Okay? That individual may be struggling to fix their credit. Or this individual may only have a year of work history. And we all know the mortgage company wants 2 years. So if that individual should stay in that house for 1 year, it means he or she has qualified in a situation where the mortgage company is looking for 2 years and he or she only have 1 year. So technically, the next year, that person is due enough or qualified or eligible to apply for a mortgage,
Yeah.
considering the fact that everything else is good, credit is good, income is there, and that person can just buy their house. Another one is this individual. Oh, I've mentioned that credit. Yeah. So credit might be a big one. Most of the time, that's the common reason why people do the lease to purchase. Of course, there's one more that just came to me now, is that this individual might be someone that moved from out of state, moved from another area to a new area, and they are trying to check out that area to see how it is.
Yeah.
Instead of just buying it right away, they want to give it a shot and lease first. Also, them living in that house or leasing the house, they get to feel the house. They get to see the vibe in the house, see if they want to live there or not. So, Ahmed, of course, there are other, agreement,
Yeah.
and our audience would like to know what are they and how does it apply to, or how can they take advantage of it?
Yeah. So at some point, we all have signed a contract. We all have been the person that written a contract. We all
Yes.
have dealt with the contracts. But we are saying all this for you to be aware that there are so many other contracts and you need to be aware of which one are you going into. So just like Ibrahim explained now, this there's so many ways you can go about it, but it just listed 4 that can be within one transaction.
Yeah.
In one single transaction, there could be a 4 contract. So that is, you if you have the knowledge and you know how the system works, now you will be able to see how every pieces come together. So the very first one I'll be talking about is lease agreement.
This agreement.
Lease agreement is the one between a tenant, the person that wants to rent a house, and the owner or the property manager. So technically, I want to live in your house, and I'm qualified to live in your house. After you have vetted me, make sure that I am an eligible candidate to live in your house. We need to go into an agreement. Okay, I'm going to be living here for 1 year. This is the amount I'm going to be paying. This is when I'm going to be paying it. This is how I'm going to be paying it. And if anything goes wrong, how am I going to report? So it's just a set of instruction between you and the owner, between the tenant and the owner, just for everybody to know it's your role. How are you going to execute on that role? And if you deviate from that role, what will be the consequence? So it's a set of instruction that could be admissible as an evidence in case of legal action. I'm not going to go into that part. I'm just going to explain what the contract itself is. So it's a binding agreement between the owner and the tenant. That is what lease agreement is. It's basically telling you have the authority to stay in that house for a particular period of time, and the owner is leasing this unit, this apartment, this house to you for that particular time. Like Ibrahim said, this usually is a transaction and it involve value and currency, which is money. So you are paying the owner for that time to stay in the house, and the owner is letting you stay in that house. That is the two exchange there. If you don't pay, then there might be consequence from the owner saying, okay, now you have to leave my house. Or if the house become inhabitable, you cannot stay in that house anymore. Now the owner needs to find a way to get you into a comfort. So these are the things that you can see in a lease agreement, and it is necessary to make sure you go through lease agreement before you sign it, so that you can know your responsibility and you can know when your right is being violated. The next one is going to be real estate option contract. Option contract is basically more of a lease purchase agreement,
Okay.
which give you an avenue to rent a house for a period of time with an option to buy. So lease purchase agreements, you are already set with, okay, I am going to buy this house at a certain time with this purchase price. But this one have an option. You can execute on it and you might decide not to execute on it. So that is where the option contract comes in. So basically, it's the same as a lease purchase agreement. However, there's an option with this one, which give you room to walk out of that contract if you don't want to execute on it. There's no obligation to execute on it. It is an option for you to execute on it. You don't have to. So if you get yourself in a situation where you need an option contract, and this is basically, so if you find yourself in that situation, make sure you have option to just walk away with no penalty. However, read the contract, because there might be a little thing in there that you don't pay attention to that can corrupt you. So if this contract is mostly used for investment property. Let's say you have 10 properties already, and you are struggling to get financing for this number 11 property. Now, if you find a property a good deal, you can work up something with the owner in such a way that you start paying to them, or technically structure an option agreement whereby once you have the avenue to get a financing, you can then purchase the property outright from there. The third one I'm going to be discussing is contract for deed. If you have been watching Do the Talk for a while, you will know much about seller financing right now. So contract for deed is what we use in those type of transaction. Seller financing subject to you are deeding your property to me with an agreement that I'm going to be making payments on your behalf or to you. In the situation of seller financing, I'm making the payments to the owner. So the owner is selling the property to me, but I'm not paying them the full amount, the full purchase price at this moment. I'm going to be making payments to them over a certain period of time, which we call balloon payment. So there might be a balloon payment at the end, which we call amortization period. Right, that is the right word I'm looking for. Amortization period is the length of a loan that you are getting, either from bank, and private entity, or an individual. So that amortization period, you're going to have a certain amount that you will be paying over that period of time until you actually pay off that your loan. So contract for deed is basically you buying the property, you are taking over the deed, but you still have a payment that you are going to be paying for an individual. This is the same thing that we do for bank, but in this situation, it is an individual or the owner of the property that we are involved with. The last one that I have is an assignment contract. This one is not commonly used. It is only used by a certain group of people that we call wholesaler. So this is a middleman agreement whereby I come to party A, I negotiate with you, like, okay, Mr. Hay, I want to buy your house. This house, I'm going to be paying you 150,000 for it. Do you want to sell? And party A agree, like, okay, you know what? 150,000 is a fair price for this property. I am going to sell it to you. You have an agreement with that seller. Now you are turning around to a different direction and you are negotiating with party B. And with party B, you are going to party B like, you know what? I have this property. It's worth 300,000. You have 150 agreement with party A. Now I want to sell this 300, the house that worth 350,000 for you at 200,000. Now you put your own little amount into it. The agreements you have with the party A, now you are selling that agreement to party B for more money. And that is how you are getting your money. You are not actually buying that property. You are just a middleman. That is what an assignment contract means. You are assigning the contract from party A to party B for a fee. That is what wholesaling means. So you are literally just assigning the contract from party A to party B for a little amount of money for the effort they put in to find a deal and for the effort they put in into negotiating and looking for you as well. So those are the four agreements that I have, Ibrahim. And it is very, very, you and I understand the importance of an agreement in real estate and in anything really. What I'm trying to get to you to explain to our audience, if you can please, is what are the things that you think is very crucial to be looking out for when you are dealing with with a real estate transaction that involve an agreement?
That's a good one. Thank you. Before I answer that question, I want to point out something you just analyzed or you explained in details to us, and I'm sure some of you may catch it, but I want you to know that it is the saying or the adage that there's always opportunity everywhere. It's very real and it's very important. I may just explain something to us just now that you can literally buy a house from someone. You are not buying the house, but technically you are arranging
Yes, that's the
the
right word.
sale for that individual. So it's like you are taking the property and assigning it to someone else. So what is the implication? First of all, you are solving that person's problem. Second, you are able to get some buck while putting the entire the workload, the stress and everything you are selling to someone else. And why did that person or that company or that group will be happy to buy that stress and everything from you? It's because they see it as a value because they are buying equity with the property as well. So at the end of the day, you are making money and you are making impact. And really, it's something that you can do. You just have to learn about it, go for it, and see how you can solve people's problem. He didn't say that, but that's what he's saying. You are helping individual here to solve their problem, making sure their house is sold. At the same time, you are providing value to an investor or someone who is interested. So then, as a result, you get rewarded. How much can you make? It depends on how good you are, how much value you can provide to the third person,
Absolutely.
and how you can solve this individual problem. So I want you guys to look into that and see how you can get started on that. It's a good way to raise money and also to, that helps you to get into real estate. Okay. All right. What is important about contract? So really, when you are signing contract, you just don't sign contract. You sign contract that works for you. Okay. We all know that, when it comes to real estate, there are a lot of terms, there are a lot of conditions and everything. You don't let those terms and conditions pressure you into what does not work for you. You have to make sure that if the term is 30 years, are you okay with 30 years? If you're okay with that, great. If the commission or the split payment or the purchase price is a particular amount, are you okay with that? The fact that the bank says you are okay with that does not mean you are okay with that. You are first of all have to know you are okay with that before you sign any contract. As long as you are cool with that, the monetary part of it, the return that you're gonna get, it's one thing to consider the money. The another thing you have to consider the value, which is the second one. Okay. We've seen a lot of, I'll give you just short example. Some people buy a home very expensive in a area that they perceive to be a good area. However, when you analyze the whole thing, the value they are getting back may not really be what they want. For example, someone would like a big space, big house, big yard, big lot, used to living in a farm where there's a lot of space they can walk around. That individual got pressured and buy a home in downtown. If you buy a home in downtown where you are used to a lot of land, a lot of space, privacy, everything, now you bought a home in downtown, technically, for you to be comfortable, you have to buy a big mansion in downtown. And most of the time a lot of people cannot afford that. So then you'll be pressured to buy a smaller house or a house that has a small land. But if you are the kind of person that likes the value of, oh, your land is big, you have this privacy, you have room for everything, your house is so big, then that means that area might not be the best for you. So it's like you are not getting the value that you really want. Value can be anything. It can be something you perceive, it can be something that it is there. Yeah, some people will happily live in downtown, but if that's not who you are, you're not getting the value back. You just pay excessive, unnecessary money for something that you are not feeling the value day to day. Okay, so that's why that's just a short example to let you know that if it's not the kind of value that you are looking for, do not just sign it. Make sure it works for you. Okay, I'm not saying you probably will not get everything. In real estate, there are three factors you have to look for: space, location, and price. So space, it means the land, the house, the location. Is the school zone okay? Is the crime? Are you okay with the amenities in that area? How far it is to your job? All that stuff. Okay. The last one is the price. Can you get the three of them? Yes, it's definitely possible. But to get the three of them, it's gonna cost you a lot of money, huge lot of money, sum of money. Most of the time, we have to compromise on one of it. At least one of you have to compromise. Like, I wanted to buy a house with basement, but unfortunately, I still can't. Till now, I have one, but I don't live there. But still yet, I couldn't buy the one with basement just because of the kind of house that I want with basement. It's gonna cost a ton of money. Location, I like it. I got a good location. Space is decent. So what am I getting to? You cannot get everything. However, make sure you value you're gonna get in return. It works for you. Do not let anybody rush you into a contract, because when you sign it, it is binding. And when you go to court, it's a legal formal document. Okay, so make sure you are signing what is clear to you. If you don't understand, ask question, and that's why you have the representative, which is either your seller side or buyer side. So Ahmed, I just explained this little thing about value and how people see things. One thing it's not exactly the same. It's the same topic, but not a little bit different. This is where I'm going. How do you advise people that are waiting until they have what they really want, or until they have huge sum of money or huge sum of amount to buy their dream home or their dream investment property before they get into real estate? How can you advise them?
With regards to the topic that we've treated this before, I definitely know where you are heading to. But with regards to the topic that we just discussed today, Ibrahim is trying to drag me to alert you that we just mentioned two contracts that you can use to get into real estate today without having the full commitment into it. You still have some sort of commitment, but even if that doesn't work for you, or at the end of the day you are paying more money, you can still walk away, with little money into the deal, or even no money. The first one is he discussed lease purchase agreement. You can buy your dream home today with lease purchase agreement. So you want the two things. The first advantage of that is you are getting into a home ownership right now. You are owning it, even though you are still leasing it. You are owning it for a certain period of time. The second thing is the house you are buying right now. You are able to lock in the price right now. So let's say the house as of today is 220. You can tell, hey, Mr. Seller, I'm going to pay you 10,000 more, 230 in the next 2 years if you allow me to live in this house, and at the end of my lease period, I'm buying this house from you. Technically, on average, nationally, a house appreciates 3% on average every single year, which means 6,000 every single year on that house on average. Now, 6,000 times 2, that is 12,000, which means by the end of that 2 years, the house might have appreciated $2,000 for you, and you already cover the extra money you put in. The first advantage, remember, is you are able to get into that house today. The second advantage is by the end of that 2-year contract, you already lock in the price, because now the seller might decide, I want to sell it more than this, but they can't do that because you already have that locking. The second option is the option contract. The option contracts, you are able to get into the house ownership like the lease purchase agreement. However, you are able to get out if you don't want to execute on that option. So those two contracts that we discussed today, you might want to look into it if you want to have a you have to get into home ownership really soon, but you are standing by right now saying, oh, I don't have enough down payment, my credit is not good enough, the interest rate is too higher for me than what I can afford right now. You might want to look into those two contracts and discuss this with Ibrahim. He's a real estate agent, he's a broker. He can help you with this contract so that you can look for someone that can agree with this contract, because guess what, some people are not able to sell their house as well, because right now with the higher interest rates, everybody purchasing power dropped.
Yeah.
So some people are not able to sell their house and they need to move on. They need to continue with their life. Maybe they are moving to a new city, traveling outside of the country and all that. So you might be able to find someone that can sell that huge or dream house for you.
Yes.
At an affordable price right now. You can get into the house today, and in the next few years, you are able to lock in that price and you are able to execute on that price, or even use option contracts whereby if you don't end up liking that house, you walk away. I don't know if that.
Yeah, that answered the question because there are various options. You cannot just get stuck on like, okay, it has to be a particular way, okay?
Yes.
Because real estate, normally it appreciate for 3% traditionally, but now really it's more than that.
Yes.
It's between 4% to 16%, depending on the location. Real estate is local, so can you get more than 4%? Definitely 100%. You can get more than 4%. So it depends on where you are, the condition of your property, the locality, what is going on in that area, amenities wise, economic wise, and are there a lot of jobs coming in and all that. So my point is, get into real estate as much as possible. You buy real estate and wait. You don't wait to buy real estate. It's a common phrase out there, and that is real. So after buying your property, all the other things will fall in line. If you need help with how to get your property managed, Easy Properties here is right. You are looking at him right now. That's what they do. They lift all the weight for you. You don't have to worry about, okay, tenant is calling you so time, or you are work, there's an issue with the water or the plumbing or all that. Don't worry about all that. They're gonna take care of that for you. All you have to do is give them a call, set up or go to their website, all that. So Ahmed, it looks like the time is
Yeah.
against us a little bit. What do you have before we wrap up? What do you have to say to?
So this is off topic. On my way down here, I just added a feature to our website, and it is the inventory of properties that we have available. So if you are looking at us right now and you are looking to rent
Great.
in the area, we have tons of property. We have property up to Morovia, Indiana. So if you have a big family, you have a good job, you're looking to rent, we have property all over and we can help you get your house that you want. So yeah, and if you want to reach out to me, you can go to ACOPM, and you can reach out to me on there. There's a form to fill that comes directly to us, and we can cater for your need, attend to you. Like Ibrahim said, we make sure that we lift the work for you so you don't have to do it, because we know how technical it could get, how busy you are. So things like that, we don't want to get in your way of investing in real estate. So we are here to answer all your questions and help you out. If someone wants to reach out to you, they want to buy their primary residence, investment opportunity and all that, how can they do it?
Yes, you can simply go to ibrealtors.us. That's the website. Fill out the information there. You'll come directly to me so I can reach back to you. You want to sell, you want to buy, you want to build. That's what I do. You can go to Instagram as well, IB Realtors, Facebook, the same thing. Or if you prefer WhatsApp, the same thing, 317-728-0213. That is the number. And I'll be more than happy to provide any real estate services. If I don't have the answer to that, I know a lot of people. I have Azo PM here, anything concerning management, I'll give him a call. He's going to help us out. I will link you up with him. So I'm very resourceful. Contractors, technicians, just give me a call. We'll go from there. Okay.
All right, guys.
So
Until next week.
until next week, see ya.
Yep.